Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
Welcome to Overwatch Central, and welcome to the Mailbox, which is essentially a Q&A series. We take some of your questions from Twitter and the comments in previous Q&A videos, and then we talk about stuff in-game, potential new heroes and stuff like that. BlizzCon, which is coming up as well. There's plenty going on at the moment, so you guys wanted to know our opinions on stuff, but let's get straight into it.
So first up is a question from @corpo_HS asking, what do you think is going to happen at the 1st of November 2016? Now what this person is talking about, of course, is the Sombra stuff that's been going on, the ARG and so on. And Lumerico will actually open their Dorado power plant on the 1st of November. Now Sombra is obviously planning some stuff around this, and we don't really know what will happen on the 1st of November, but we're clearly sort of supposed to wait until then and see what will happen. What I think will happen is that Dorado will change even more. Maybe there will be more hints towards some of the stuff that's been mentioned in the emails, and also a new newspaper with some more news around it. Maybe we'll get to know how the sort of opening of that power plant went. Maybe Sombra wrecked it. Some people are speculating that some part of the power plant would have gotten destroyed and that the map will be heavily changed, but I'm not sure if I want to go that extreme. But yeah, I think there will be some additions and some hints to what's been going on in the ARG, and maybe even additional steps to the ARG in-game.
I do think that there's going to be a Blizzard blog as well, similar to the May one. I think they kind of understood now that they have sort of pushed the ARG enough that people have kind of just got to that point. It's like, oh, I don't care anymore. Come on, just give us a bit more concrete. So I'm expecting something like that. A little bit of lore, a little bit of a tease in terms of Sombra, I guess, but also what other stuff might be down the line. I don't think it's going to be just Sombra. I think there's going to be a couple of other extra things in there. Maybe a new related map or even a game mode. So whatever happens on the 1st of November is going to hint more towards that.
Next question is from @IamAn8-year-old. Interesting handle there, but yeah, the question goes, Central, Comedy Central fan or just a name idea? Honestly, it is just a sort of name idea on its own. I kind of wanted to call it something that had to do with a hub of content that had a bit of everything, as we cover pretty much everything really around Overwatch. We're trying to get better at covering console, but other than that, we try to gather all sorts of Overwatch content on one channel. Now Central in particular was chosen because it's not really like hub or home. It just feels a little bit sort of less generic, I guess. But yeah, I definitely wanted Overwatch in the name so people got that this was an Overwatch channel and it just was a sort of hub for all sorts of Overwatch content. That was the idea. Nothing to do with Comedy Central, honestly, even though our logo does also happen to look a little bit like the Comedy Central logo. Whoops.
Nigel, which is @Dunkers, asks, what is your current opinion on how Blizzard is handling Overwatch with their buffs, nerfs, etc.? Well, we might as well talk about the recent PTR patches. Nothing's been done like it yet. And I really appreciate the fact that Blizzard have come to their community and gone, we're not entirely sure what we want to do with these heroes specifically, so we're going to give you these crazy changes and you just let us know what you think. It feels like they have a lot of trust in our opinions of what we think, and instead of making their own decisions and going, oh, these are the changes anyway, we're going to throw them on the PTR, but to be honest, they're going to go out anyway regardless of whether you like them or not. So I really appreciate how they're going about it now. It really does make the game a lot more interesting. So having a lot of these really unique changes come into Overwatch at the moment is a really good thing, and it'd be nice to see it more. By treating the practice test realm as this playground of abilities that can be changed to crazy levels, instead of it just being more of a closed beta, I guess. But so far the buffs and nerfs have been minute but effective, so it will be interesting to see if these changes at the moment do go through.
Next up is @Sean_W_ asking, how can Season 3 comp be improved from Season 2? Now this is a very interesting question because from Season 1 to Season 2 it was very clear what needed to be done to improve comp and make it actually a solid playlist and mode with a good rule set, so to say. This happened and comp has become a lot better, and the only thing I can really think about that they kind of need to improve is how they handle levers a little bit more. So for example in placement games, if someone leaves your match, you've just lost the placement game, and sure, maybe you wouldn't care about losing maybe 10 SR in a normal game, but this is a whole placement game that you lose just because someone left, and that kinda sucks, right? Same goes for the SR adjustments though, as it does feel like they can handle levers a little bit better. It shouldn't just always mean that if someone leaves on one team, that team will lose the game and will lose the same SR as they normally would have, or at least anywhere close to it. It just kind of sucks to lose score because someone just didn't feel like playing on your team. I don't know how they would do that and how they would work with that even further, but that's the only thing I can really think about, to be honest.
Yeah, I think improving it has a lot to do with the sort of behind the scenes and how the MMR and stuff works like that. In terms of the setting and how these games now play out, they are so much better. But yeah, I think they just need to iron out a lot to do with the skill ranking, levers as well, and a better system to deal with trolls and just really horrible people on not just your team, but the other team as well. I feel that the biggest problem with Overwatch Ranked now is the mentality and the toxicness. And if it's not handled properly, I do think Overwatch can become an incredibly toxic and horrible game. So I think that's the thing that Blizzard need to deal with in terms of the forefront of Ranked.
On to the next question from @TigerWingsFan48, asking what hero is the hardest to master. Now, my opinion on this has kind of shifted over time a lot. I used to think that it was clearly Genji, but nowadays I really don't. Genji can be very sort of forgivable due to his movement abilities and ways to get away from a fight and survive, especially with the deflect as well, whilst a hero like McCree, in my opinion, can be a lot more difficult to play, not just for me, but in general. You need to have very good aim, which takes a long time to practice. And of course, if you played maybe Counter-Strike and so on, you might already have decent aim and have a better chance at playing a better McCree in Overwatch with less playtime in Overwatch. But my point still stands, because positioning with McCree is a lot more difficult than positioning with Genji due to the lack of movement abilities, really. So I think positioning and knowing how to work with your team is kind of the tricky part about Overwatch and what makes a really, really good Overwatch player. And that's why I think McCree can be a very difficult hero to play, due to how extremely good with aiming you have to be, as well as keeping track of your positioning and so on. Now, positioning with McCree really isn't easy, because if you're jumped, you either just have to kill the enemy or just hope that your team is there to assist you.
Well, I'd say Sombra at the moment, honestly. But in all seriousness, though, master is a strong term. So I think every hero in the game is really difficult to master. You've got those heroes that rely a lot on reflexes and quick thinking, like Genji, and heroes like Widowmaker, McCree that do require a really good aim. But even heroes like Lucio and Reinhardt are very difficult to play at the highest of levels. I know most of you kind of go, oh, but they're so straightforward. Yeah, but playing them at that master level is something else entirely. I think Reinhardt especially, because positioning and communication and just general decision making is so important, because if you make that one mistake, you can set up the rest of your team to lose. So for me, I guess I would say Reinhardt. It is a really good question though, it's just so difficult to answer. But of course, those flare heroes like Genji, Tracer, Widowmaker, even Ana to an extent, are all really difficult heroes to just pick up and play. But mastering any hero in Overwatch is gonna be tough.
And the final question is from @GenuineCoolGuy, asking, when do you know you've got a good idea for a video? Now, the honest answer is, we don't. We actually don't really know when we do have a good idea or not, because it's impossible to know how well a video will do on YouTube. If we knew what videos would do well and which ones wouldn't, we clearly wouldn't make the ones that wouldn't do well. And as the nature of any YouTube channel, we also have videos that do really well and videos that don't do nearly as well as our other content. The only thing we can do is kind of look to the past, see what's been successful for us and try to do that sort of stuff again. But the thing is, you don't want to rehash old content too much either. So it can be very difficult, and this is definitely the most challenging part of YouTube, coming up with a good video idea that you think, or are pretty sure at least, will work with your audience. But yeah, that's why we want you guys to like and dislike videos and so on, and of course leave comments, because that's the best way for us to tell what content is good and works with you guys, and what you want to watch, and what type of content we should refrain from making because you don't want to watch it.
And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do give us your questions in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer them in a future video potentially. And until next time, take care, and we'll see you then.